Today I'm just going to give a quick overview of weight on pets. Has your vet ever called your pet overweight? Well, I'd like you to try and see that from a perspective that they really care about you and your pet. Purina did a study on dogs that showed that pets who had a lean body weight lived 2 years longer than pets who were overweight. This was a study that went on for 14 years. Today I'm going to talk about weight in pets. Obesity is a pandemic in humans and in animals. I'm Dr. Sally, and I'm a veterinarian that's been practicing for the past 20 years, and the last 10 years I've been focusing on holistic medicine. Keeping a lean body weight is very important in your pets. This can help avoid disease processes that can shorten their life. The main thing I want to show you today is how to tell if your pet is overweight. We use a diagram called the body condition score. It can be either out of 9 or 5, but I'm going to show you the diagram between 1 and 9. 1 is severely emaciated and 9 is severely obese. As you can see in this diagram, it gives you an idea of what the pet looks like from the side and from the top. The main thing you're looking for is for the pet to have a thinner waist than the chest area from both the side and from the top. So on a diagram out of 9, 5 is the ideal. Lower than that is too thin, and higher than that is overweight. This pertains to cats and dogs, and sometimes it's hard to see because of their fur. So another way I like to explain it, and I tell a lot of my clients this, is if you look at your pet's ribs, if you see that their ribs are like this, it's too skinny. If their ribs are like this, where you can barely see them and barely feel them, that's perfect. And if the ribs are like this, where you can hardly feel the bones, that's too heavy. In dogs, the major problem when they're overweight as they get older is joint disease or arthritis. If they are too heavy, just like in humans, it's really hard on our joints. And so being on the thinner side is a lot easier as they age and potentially develop arthritis. In cats, being overweight has a higher incidence of your cat developing diabetes because they get type 2 diabetes. In dogs, it's typically type 1, so it really doesn't have to do with their weight. It's more of a genetic thing. But in cats, they get type 2, so it can be caused by being overweight. As you've heard me say multiple times, movement is medicine. So if you can get out and walk your dog or help your kitties move around by using toys that make them run, or giving them toys with treats that they have to bounce around and chase around to get the treats out. Or you can even toss the treats across the room for your cats to get them some exercise. And along the same lines of movement is medicine, food is also medicine. So if you can replace any of the dry kibble with some type of protein for either cats and dogs, that really does help with their weight and their longevity. There are a lot of different body types in dogs and cats, but the rule of the knuckles is generally a good rule of thumb to go by for either your dogs or cats if you're unsure. And being on the thinner side is always a better choice than being heavy. Obesity is a pandemic in the animal world just like in humans. But the good thing is we can control what our pets are eating. So it is really our responsibility to make better choices on the food that we feed our pets and the amount. It's typically not the actual food, it's usually the amount of food that you're feeding. A good rule of thumb for dry kibble is 1 cup per 20 pounds per day, regardless of what the bag says. They often try to overfeed because they want to sell their food, but that is typically too much. For whole food, it's 1.5 cups per 20 pounds per day. So they need more whole food because there's a lot less filler than in the dry. So if your veterinarian tells you that your pet is overweight, you typically don't have to switch to a diet food. My recommendation is to just cut back a little. If you are feeding a measuring cup, make sure that it's straight across rather than a heaping cup. Or like I said earlier, take out some of the dry food and add some protein. And make it easy, whether you use a pound of ground turkey per week and take away a little bit of the dry. Or one of my favorite tips is to remove some of the dry kibble and add green beans. Canned green beans are so easy to add, and you literally can just crack open the top of the can and dump in some green beans. It can be that easy. Then they feel like they're getting a special treat. The green beans have fiber, which will help them feel fuller, and they're getting less dry food. Green beans are cheap, and you don't even have to cook them, and most dogs tend to like them. You can literally give a whole can or multiple cans of green beans per day, depending on the size of your dog. They are so low in calorie and high in fiber, so they're just so good for your pets. I did even try to give that to my kitten the other day, and he ate them. But I don't think a lot of cats will eat green beans, but you can try. A lot of times with cats, it tends to be a texture issue. So if you have a kitten, I would start early and give them lots of different textures. But if you're starting with an adult cat, after seeing this video, they may be stuck on what they like. And like I said earlier, our pets are our responsibility, and we have control over their amount of exercise and their amount of food. So we really need to make the better choice for our pets. So take the initiative to move with them, whether it's a 5-minute walk once a day with your dog or throwing some treats across the room for your kitty cat. And while we're at it, if we're moving with our pets, it's so good for us as well. And we should all maybe eat a little bit more green beans as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more. If you have a friend who has an overweight pet, I would love it if you share this video, and also like and subscribe. It really helps me get this information out to a lot more people. If you want to know more about food, check out my channel. I've talked about Chinese food therapy, and we'll continue to make videos on that subject.